Today we are making a few no-cook, zero-cooking, no-heat meals. So I'm gonna show you how to make these meals. Again, I'm doing this with the help of a rotisserie chicken, which I bought at the store. It was $7, so that's my cheat for not cooking at all. I just bought a cooked chicken. I'm gonna use the whole thing in all these meals. And yeah, let's get into it. I used the vegetables that I'm really comfortable with for this prep, like bell peppers, onions, greens, and stuff like that, but you can use any vegetables you want. Choose ones that, again, just are good on their own, don't need that much doctoring up for a quick no-cook prep. Carrots, cucumbers, even zoodles, if you're into that kind of thing, would be great. Whereas veggies like potatoes and squash might be ones to skip for a no-cook prep. So again, anything that you'd put in a salad fresh without cooking can go in your no-cook preps. This is my expert way of de-seeding a jalapeno. You don't know how many jalapeno burns I've gotten. You gotta be really careful with that. We are using chicken in this no-cook prep, but if you want some vegan and vegetarian options, we actually have 3 no-cook vegan meals linked below. You can find that in the description. So I'm using a rotisserie chicken. I totally could have just threw some chicken in the Instant Pot to do this no-cook prep if I really wanted to do that, but it was so hot, it was over 100 degrees, I didn't even want to deal with the Instant Pot for this prep. And I'm storing the chicken in a sachet bag to make stock later in the season, or maybe when it's a little cooler. I can make stock with these bones, so I'm definitely going to save them and not put them to waste. We have a video on that linked below as well. This gets a little messy. I did have to debone the entire thing. It's not super fun, but once it was all deboned, I was able to chop it up. First up, we've got summer rolls. So I'm gonna use the chicken. I have herbs in my garden. That's parsley, cilantro, basil, and mint, and there's some dill in there too. Got vegetables, carrots, jalapenos, red bell pepper, red onion, a peach, and a lime, and my rice paper. For these, I'm probably going to just prep the ingredients and assemble the rolls when I eat them, because prepping with rice paper can get a little tricky and a little sticky. So that's the plan. So I'm storing chicken and veggies to make into spring rolls when I'm ready to eat them, because I'm not a huge fan of prepping them ahead, but I know there are ways you can do that if you want to, and I'll put those in the description below. So I've got my container full of chicken and veggies, as well as my herbs and my sauce on the side. This can last in the fridge for a few days, and you can just kind of build rolls as you need them. So here I am making my first roll. This is one day later. I'm not a pro at this, but I did my best. There are a lot of different techniques for this, and traditionally you would see these with shrimp or tofu, but again, we're keeping it creative with the rotisserie chicken. I've only done this a few times, so my technique just is not perfect. If you want to perfect this, definitely take some practice, watch some other videos, learn how to do it. It's very similar to a burrito from my perspective, but I've seen prettier summer rolls. I really tried. So ways you can actually prep these ahead, from what I've heard, I have not tried these, but you can actually wrap them in wet paper towels or saran wrap to preserve their texture. Again, I haven't tried this, but if you want to prep these rolls ahead of time, you can do that. And they're so good with the peanut sauce and the crunchy veggies. This is a perfect no-cook meal for a hot day. Meal number 2 is a Caesar wrap. So I've got my tortillas. I'm going to make a Caesar dressing with the food processor with these anchovies and mayo and stuff. I'm gonna throw in an avocado in there just because. I've got my chicken, and I've got lettuce from the garden. So that's meal number 2. I chose to make my own Caesar dressing just because I had anchovies and I didn't have a bottle of Caesar dressing, but you can totally use store-bought to make this even faster. I also am using vegan mayo, which is why it looks like a block of mayo. I don't know why it solidified so much in the fridge. but it wasn't perfect. My Caesar dressing broke a little bit for some reason. I'm not sure why, but again, you can just use store-bought, make your life easier. I just used a random recipe I found online for this. It's pretty easy to make, and do not skip the anchovies. So for these wraps, I'm just pouring my broken Caesar dressing onto the chicken. I'll mix that up, and I'm adding avocado and lettuce. If I made these again next time, I would have liked to add one other vegetable or something else to fill out the wrap a little more. They came out a little small, maybe more greens. It just needed something else. But I definitely would make these again. They were so delicious, and you can absolutely do this with chickpeas if you are vegan or vegetarian, and you can of course use a different dressing. I mean, the options are endless for this kind of wrap. The avocado did not go brown because it is very much smothered by the chicken and lettuce. It didn't have a lot of air coming in contact with it, and that's what causes it to go brown. You can also squeeze a little bit of lemon juice on the avocado if you're worried for some insurance, or you can just skip it. But again, I didn't have this issue, so I don't think you will either. These wraps can last in the fridge for up to 3 to 4 days. I don't recommend freezing them, and you can just eat them cold or room temperature. I wouldn't recommend heating these up. This is what they look like the next day when we actually eat them. See, no brown avocado. The last meal will be, again, our chicken. We've got greens for a salad. This is arugula, and I have some spinach. This is from our garden. Croutons, carrots, red onion, red bell pepper, avocado, and a peach. I'll make a dressing for this as well. Not sure where I'm gonna go with it. I might also throw in some frozen corn, obviously thawed out, and that will be meal number 3. So in my dressing, I have honey, I've got olive oil, this is red wine vinegar, mustard, key ingredient, some salt, herbs, that's dill, and garlic. I love making my own dressings, but you don't have to do that. You can totally use dressings that are store-bought. I'm someone that I don't want to have a crowded fridge door, so I just make my own. This was my favorite no-cook meal, by the way. I could eat this every single week. The textures and flavors were incredible, especially with this dressing. It's like a honey mustard dressing. So I've got my greens from my garden. I'm using a garden mix. I have lettuce, arugula, and spinach. You can use kale. You can use whatever greens you like, and I'm just chopping them roughly. And salads are all about the assembly. They're so easy. So I'm just gonna add my spinach, my containers, and I'm going to add all of the other ingredients right on top. And then before I ate the salad, I just mixed it up with the dressing and enjoyed. I also threw some croutons in there and some cheese. These were just delicious. And you can totally make these with chickpeas if you don't eat chicken. So we've got corn, peaches, carrots, bell pepper, red onion, jalapeno in there, and I added feta on top. Can't sing the praises of the salad enough. It is so good. And that's it. Those are the 3 no-cook meals I made with the rotisserie chicken. They got me through the heat wave in Seattle, and I hope this inspired you to make some of your own. Hit subscribe if you want to see more like this, and throw a comment if you have any suggestions of things you want to see. Thanks for watching. Bye.